This is probably going to be one of the weirdest videos I've ever put up on my channel, probably one of the weirdest videos that you've ever seen on YouTube, but this by far is the most requested video on my channel of all time. Does masturbation cause acne? And more importantly, does NoFap or stopping masturbation clear your acne up? In this video, there's going to be 3 sections. My personal experience when I did a challenge, when I actually put this into play, the science, what the actual science says about this, and my opinions as to why or why not your acne does or does not clear up when you stop masturbating. You probably want to make sure your parents aren't in the room for this one. Let's dive into it. By the way, before I get started, if you are watching this video because you have acne right now that you're trying to get rid of, you need to check out my acne program, theacnemethod.com. It's 10 steps, $10, and it's helped hundreds of people. There are a lot of really, really good transformations that you'll see on the website, so check out those testimonials so you can see what it can do for you. But check that out, it's gonna help you a lot. Now let's get in this video. Okay, what's the proper way to kick off a video about masturbation and acne? It's such a weird topic, but let's start with the section of why I do or do not think that it improves your acne. And in my opinion, I think that it does improve your acne when you stop masturbating. And I say, for me, I think this is relevant for men and women. So there's a couple reasons as to why. Now, for my personal experiences, when I am masturbating a lot more, you know what I'd say, like unhealthy chronic masturbation, I would say that my mind's in a bad spot, or, you know, just things aren't going so perfectly in my life. So there's a lot more stress generally. And I would say when I'm doing it every single day repetitively, I'm in a stressed state. And we all know that stress definitely correlates to more acne because you release a lot of something called cortisol in your blood, and that equates to stress. Another thing that I think is very important that I've noticed is that when I am doing it very often, I'm also not sleeping super well. And that's either I'm going to bed super late because I'm sitting there staring at a laptop for too long, or my sleep just seems to be broken up. Like I'll wake up in the middle of the night and then I won't get back to sleep. Maybe I'll start looking at my phone or something like that. So I'm not getting quality, deep sleep. That's another huge contributing factor to acne. A lot of you guys are probably being like, oh, this rings so true. Not getting a lot of sleep definitely causes more acne. So at this point, listening to what I'm saying, you're probably getting the line of reasoning that I'm going down. I would basically say that, you know, when you are chronically masturbating, you're probably letting other factors in your life go a little bit to the wayside. And another factor that I would say is food or diet. For me personally, when I'm not sleeping as much, when I'm stressed more, I'm definitely eating more packaged foods, microwave foods, a lot of snacks. I'm not taking the extra time to cook whole foods and eat as much veggies as I should, and I'm generally not as hydrated as I should be. So in general, that also isn't the best for your acne. Okay, and the final thing that I want to personally make note of is that I kind of let my hygiene go to the wayside when I'm in this kind of a mode, meaning that I'm not on top of my skincare routine, right? I'm not using all the products that I really rely on, that I really like, that improve my acne, and also other things. You know, I'm not cleaning my sheets as often. I'm not changing my pillowcases every 2 days, all that kind of stuff. In my opinion, all this is maybe small things independently, but when you add them up, I think it definitely has a huge contribution to your acne and your skin health. So there's the first section, what my personal opinion is. Now let's turn to the actual science, what they have actually discovered in scientific studies about this exact subject, which, may I just note, is kind of weird that they have actually looked at this in studies. This is like a medical thing that we live in a weird world. Okay, before we jump into what the actual scientific studies say, if you haven't been following for a long time, this has been a discussion for many years. I've heard this since pretty much the beginning of me having acne. And basically, the premise behind the science goes that when you are masturbating often, your hormones are fluctuating massively. So your testosterone is moving up and down constantly during different periods of the masturbation, and that causes an influx of acne because we know that when people go through puberty, when they have hormonal fluctuations and changes, that contributes to acne. So if it's been shown in studies that your testosterone moves up during masturbation and then back down, then maybe that spike contributes to acne. It kind of makes sense, but then they did more studies on this. So I looked through countless different websites, different articles and stuff. 2 websites I really like is Medical News Today and Healthline. They both cite all the things that they say in their articles. They actually use scientific studies. So basically what they said is that while it is true that your testosterone fluctuates during masturbation or orgasming during sex, it actually only fluctuates slightly and only for a few minutes. And what they've concluded is that that fluctuation in testosterone is insignificant and is not, 1, big enough, and 2, long lasting enough to have an impact on your oil production and thus your acne. So maybe it sounded a little boring and sciencey. Basically, the science says that no, masturbation has no impact on your acne. That's what the science says. And finally, the third section of this video, my personal experiment with this, which it's always kind of weird to share these kind of things. So just bear with me and appreciate that I'm being transparent with you guys. I actually tested this out when I was a bit younger, when my acne was much more severe, which if you've never seen it, I used to have really bad cystic acne, very severe acne all over my face. And I'd heard this a lot of times on the internet, so I said, let's try it. I'm gonna try no FAP, which just basically means not masturbating, for as long as I can go. So here's what happened. So for the first couple days, literally no change at all. And of course, I didn't really expect anything because skin is a slow moving thing. It doesn't happen super quick with most stuff. So the first 3 or 4 days, not really seeing a huge impact. Then we get to the later part of the first week, you know, the 5th, the 6th, the 7th, the 8th day. And I actually did start to see an improvement in my skin. Not an improvement in my large nodular cysts, so those big marble-sized cysts under the skin, but I saw a big improvement specifically in my whiteheads. So like those smaller whiteheads, those pinprick whiteheads, and not so much of a change in my blackheads. So all of that I thought was really interesting. As I continued into the second week, I basically just saw more of the same results. No change in cystic acne, no change at all in blackheads, but even more improvement in all of the little redheads and whiteheads in between those two things. And so for me, that was really encouraging. And again, that's why earlier in the video, I mentioned all those things that I mentioned. I started to sleep better. I started to be more on track with my hygiene, my skincare. I started to exercise more frequently. I was better with my diet and my water because I wasn't tired all the time. I just had more energy. So I think all these things kind of feed into it. And that's why I think I saw an improvement. Now at this point, it gets a little hazy. I do know I went into the third week. I can't really remember exactly when I ended this. I was younger. Okay. And yeah, I think you get the picture. But what I saw through my experiment is that it definitely, for me, improved my acne. And everyone is different, so you can't tell me what I experienced, and neither can science. I saw an improvement in my acne. So I don't think that the notion of stopping or lowering the amount of masturbation that you do to help your acne or help improve your skin, I don't think that's a bad idea at all. I think everybody should, if this is something that interests you, try a little experiment and just take notes and notice if you see an improvement in your skin. And if you do, you've just unlocked another strategy that you can call upon whenever you want to improve your skin. Man, so there we have it. Another weird video. I'm never ashamed to share real life things because everybody does this kind of stuff, but for some reason it's very taboo to talk about it. So I will break the mold and I will talk about it, and I will just have all my cards out on the table. I don't care. That's what I do. What I want to know is what your experience is. Have you ever tried this? And if you have you seen improvement? Have you not? What do you think about this? If you haven't tried it at all, I would love to know. Of course, always give the video a thumbs up. Helps me out a lot. And if you're looking for my favorite skincare brand of all time, it's absolutely Banish. Their products aim specifically to help improve acne scarring and light to moderate acne, as well as just overall skin health. By far, seriously, there's a lot of science behind the ingredients that they use. By far my favorite brand. If you want to use them, all caps Brian5 will get you $5 off an order of 50 or more. I'll put a link to that in the description below. Highly recommend it. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember, you are not alone. You are beautiful, and you are part of Team Acne. See you guys in the next video.